Yes, meeting recording has been started. So first, today we are going to explain that UiPath RE framework. What exactly UiPath RE framework? So when in which scenario we have to go for UiPath RE framework? So normally there is a sequence thing is there, state chart diagram is there, flow chart is there. Lot of things are available in UiPath. But why we have to choose that RE framework, I'll let you know. Sequence. If you consider the sequence, everything will be doing in a linear thing. So like sequentially. So step by step process will be doing. So sequence is not suitable for repetitive project. And what about that flowchart diagram? Flowchart diagram is the thing where we can able to build our logic based, and we can able to define that in either system exception or business exception. It is very quite comfortable. But even though we can't able to do the repetitive things by using this flowchart. Next comes state chart mission. What exactly the state chart missions is that? So perform a particular operation in your particular states, and whatever that input and outputs are there, just you can able to pass to that another state. That is nothing but state chart mission. So and that is also but based on the state chart mission only they have been developed this RE framework. So what exactly the RE framework, right? UiPath people already they developed one standard RE framework which we can able to reuse in our projects, and we can able to do it for repetitive operations by, and they provided in a customizable way where we can able to download their RE framework, and we can able to convert into our requirement base, and we can able to complete our project. That is the best use for RE framework. Uh, so that is the best use for RE framework. And why it become more addictive in the sense, so I can able to, you can see here, so this was RE framework. So I have been open this RE framework. I can able to customize myself, and I can able to do the operations how I want it. I can able to finish the requirement as per the client needs. So that is the best one. In this RE framework there are two things are there: performer, dispatcher. Performer dispatcher, I'll let you know the real time example. Suppose guys we all are there in that railway station. Suppose we want, everyone want to go to their individual destination. So what we are waiting for a particular train. So here performer in the sense, train has to come arrive into the station. So it has to, we have to board into the railway station, and we have to see where our seats are there. So and train will wait for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Based on that, once everyone is done, then then train is going to dispatch for this one. It will dispatch to that or the destination. So first what is train doing? It has to come, it has to wait for 2 minutes, and we have to it will check whether all people are onboarded or not. So this is the one in real time. In RE framework when come to performer, it has to do some of the validations, like you are opening that Excel. So it has to check that validation is Excel is there or not, so Q name is there or not. Those kind of things are there. And yeah, we are onboarding into the tribe. So here in initialization, what it will do, it will add queue items to the orchestrator. You can assume like that. Once all the queue items have been added to the queue, what it will do, train at a time, right? It can't go to our all destination places, right? It will go to uh, destination place 1, destination place 2, destination place 3. Those who want to get down on destination 1, they will get down. Those who want to get down on destination 2, they will get down. Like this, what it will do, it will take each transaction item whatever it is there inside the queue, and it will able to work on that one. Similar way, inside that initialization, we will add data to the queue, so that whoever want to get down that destination, right, when use the get transaction item, so that we can able to get the transaction item, and we can able to work on it. Once that is done, right, we can able to close the transaction, and we can update the status of this transaction. That is what whole in RE framework. You got the clear idea with that real example? What is that performer and what is the dispatcher? Because this is one of the interview questions. They will ask you clearly in which scenario we'll go for what is the performer and what is the dispatcher. If you are fine, then I will go for the next thing. Fine, right? Sure. You understand now what is the performer and what is the dispatcher. Now let's come into the performer part. That is board check. We have to check whether train is there or not. We have to add the data. We have to add the people to the train. So that is coming up with performer. So I'm going for initialization state. What I'm having there, I'm just checking that is that any system error is there or not. No, it is not there. So first I'm checking, I'm making that, I'm checking that config is there or not. Config is having any data or not, I'm checking. Currently config is not having the data. Yes. uh, so what is happening, I'm just going inside the init all settings. What it is having, I'll just explain you. So here I declared a dictionary. Why? Well, dictionary is the main purpose, which it can be able to store the data in key value pair. So if you go inside this Excel config file, we can consider this is as a key, this is as a value, key value pair. So when you are calling that from UiPath, if you call this particular name, you can able to get that what exactly that value it is. So for this one, we have the data inside the config file as key value pair. That is the reason I declared a dictionary here, which it will store a key value pair. You can see here. So and the type is I'm taking this one as string type, and I'm holding the data, whatever the data I'm holding, I'm getting that values. I'm storing this one is the object type. Okay. So first what I'm doing here, before going to init all settings, just check in edit documents what they are doing here. So they are reading the data in the config file, which are there inside data config.xlsx. If you see here, so there is a data folder is there. Here they are reading this config.xlsx. That I'm just using this one. This is the file it is having. So I'm reading this data. Hmm. Inside this I'm just I want to read only two sheets. One is that settings and later constants. Okay. Assets no need to read because we can able to use the get asset, so we can able to get that the value from that one. So currently I'm going for only these two. So so that is the reason he want to read that constants entry, and whatever the data, everything I'm getting that, right? So here it has to read the data from the settings sheet, it has to read the data from constant sheet. So all the data I want to I already declared the collection, that sorry, dictionary. I want to add this all the data into dictionary, so I can able to use this data wherever I want in my RE framework. So that is the reason he is using that dictionary, which we declare inside that init.setting. He is using as an out parameter, so that we can use it in next purpose. So go to that init all settings here. So as I said, right, what they're doing here, so they're reading in underscore config sheet. It has two sheets. One is that constant sheet. Another one is that settings, I guess. Settings and constants, yes, those sheets I'm reading. So they, when they're getting the thing, so we have two sheets now. So I said that we can now we can able to use that for each activity, and we can able to get the two sheets. And first I'm reading that sheet. So what I'm doing here, I'm storing that whatever the data I'm getting into settings and constants data table. Okay. Once after getting the data, I'm using that settings and constant data table. I want to get that whatever the thing. So first I'm checking that in when it is trying to read this data, is that name is having any data or not, any row it is having or not, I'm checking. So first I'm checking, no, is string not, is string dot is null or empty. What is doing, uh, if string is null or empty, whatever the name it is reading, it should not be empty. So if it is empty means it has to go here. So now we have any if we don't have any data. Okay. Now I don't have, okay, what happened? Okay. Now I don't have any data. What will come? It will come to the else block, and we can able to do one of the business exception. We can keep it, and we can able to tell that the particular sheet doesn't have any data at all, kind of thing. Now our requirement, now we already have data. So yes, we have two rows. So I'm just getting the first row. How I'm getting? So now I'm checking that it is having any data or not in the name. Yes, I'm having the data. Whatever the data I'm having, row dot value, if you perform right, we will able to get that this value. So this data we have to store in our dictionary. Here what I'm having, so I declare one dictionary. Whatever the data I'm getting inside a value, I'm just storing inside a dictionary. I just declare that out underscore config at the start, beginning of this init state. So whatever the row of name, everything is there, that I'm getting that row of value. So this whole data, whatever the data you are getting, key value pair, this all the data, it will come and store inside a dictionary. That dictionary I'm passing out to the whatever the flow it is calling. From main stage it is calling init all settings, right? I'm passing the dictionary. I'm bringing the dictionary from init all settings to my main stage, my stage. So once, now what happened? So now inside the thing we are able to read that q name. Am I correct? So if you see here, we already got the data, q name, whatever is the thing, we are able to read that. So we already have in dictionary. So I'm just checking that in underscore orchestrator q name. So whenever we are starting this project, so we are checking that what is the q name for this one. The q name for this one is process abcq. So I'm just checking whether it is empty or not. Currently, we don't have any other queue name at all. So still we didn't read. We just read it, but we can't. We didn't. We have to read it, right? What I'm doing here, whatever the queue name it is having in underscore config. If you see here, config of orchestrator queue name. So okay, sorry, config dot orchestrator queue name is there, right? So what from orchestrator, it has to check for this queue name, what are we declared, process abcq. Some others can go on mute. I'm hearing. So whatever the config of queue name it is having, that which I'm storing inside this config or orchestrator name. Process abcq I'm storing inside this orchestrator queue name. That is what this whole purpose it is. Once after that, kill all process. What happened? Suppose I'm working on a, yeah, suppose I'm working on Excel operation or Chrome operation. So my bot has to run in this particular time. So I have to check whether if it is working on Chrome application, whether if it is Chrome is anything open, which if, whether it has to close anything or not. Okay. So normally it is empty now. What we can do here, we can able to kill process, and we can able to, suppose if I'm working on the Chrome, so I can able to create this as Chrome kind of thing, so that it will kill all the Chromes whichever it has opened. That is the reason I'm just before going into my project, I'm just checking whether everything is opened or not. I'm planning to close this one. That is what we are here using. And what is that init all applications here? First checking that what it is having, what is going. So we already read the data from the config file, and we kept the dictionary. That dictionary we are passing to in parameter to the init all applications. We will see what they are doing here. So here, so if I want to open that particular application, login application, so we can able to do the things here. I'll open that sequence. Sorry, I will keep the sequence here, and I can able to open browser. I can keep it, and I can able to like sorry, I was there here. Okay, I can able to open that URL here. I'm just showing for you for your understanding what we can, what kind of thing we'll be keeping here. Not this one. Okay. I have used it right. Open browser. Okay. Um, open application. Open URL. Yeah, so like this, I'm just whatever the URL I want to open, everything I can able to perform the operation inside this initall application. So it has to open that application, and if it is having any credential, before that we have to use this get asset here. So before we have to use the get asset here, and we have to use that credentials name, whatever the asset name it is having, so that the value it will able to get that. So it will get that value here. So in this way we can able to read the data, and we can able to perform that. If it is having credentials, we can able to perform all the opening the application in it all application. So check that what is the output it is going. So it is having no output data, we are only reading the data from the config file, that's all. And if you want to open that, so you can see here inside the config file, if you go on constants, here also you can able to keep that. What I can keep that, I can write that www dot sorry google.com, and I can able to keep that log message uh, uh, application URL. So what I'm doing here, so I can able to read this. I can anyway I have all the data inside my dictionary. From the dictionary, what I can do, row of if I perform row of log message dot application URL, I'll be getting that URL name. That URL name I can able to pass it here, and when I use that open browser activity, like that, this is the purpose of init all application. Done. So you understood? Yes. Yeah, yeah. We have to remove that. So I'm just saying that for your purpose. If you come here, remove hyperlink. That's all. Yes. Can I continue, right? So you can see here for every block they are keeping a try catch mechanism here. So whenever they want to read the data, whenever they do, they and everything they, this is called as particular block. For a particular block inside a main thing, what they are doing here, they are using a try catch mechanism, so that if any exception is there, let that handle. Say system dot error is called, whatever the exception is having, it has to show that exception to that user when a particular when they trigger the bot when they think. So that is fine. Now go into this here. Oh, sorry. Now if you want to perform the thing once after loading the data queue name, so after this what you can do, right? So we have to add the data. Everyone has to get into the train, right? You can able to keep this add queue item, and you can able to add that collection. What is the thing? Whatever the, suppose if I want to read a particular files from the Excel access files from the folder. So what you can use here? So you can use that last time I showed you directory.get files. You can keep it so that you will be data storing inside the array. You can able to use that for each act for each one. Sorry, not here. For each activity, so that I can able to provide that whatever the array here, and what happen whatever the array name I'm getting that, I can able to if I last time I showed you how to get how to read the file name path dot, you understood, right? So I can, you can similarly use that, and you can able to what so it is having in a particular folder, it is having three files. All the files it will be stored inside this array. So I'm getting that first file name. I can able to read that first file name here. We can able to add that whatever the file name we are adding, we can able to provide that inside a queue. Add queue item is there, right? So if you go that item information, you can provide that queue whatever the item you are having, item dot to string. So I'm getting that file name. So whatever the file name I'm getting, I'm adding here. So what is the queue name? ABC. So we are already having that queue, ABC queue name. So for this particular queue, what I'm having inside the orchestrator, this queue is there. So I'm adding all the files. Now this is how we are performing we are doing a performer operation. We are adding all the items into the queue here. So this is how we are adding the queue item, and we'll be doing inside the first step, that is initialization. Now done. So now I have three files I said. So all the three files, it has been added into the queue. Okay. Now train has been started. It is saying that whenever the train is started, railway department people are there. They will be checking the tracks whether it has broken or anywhere any stones, anything they have been kept. So there are error scenarios are there, success scenarios are there. Success scenarios, if nothing is there on the railway track, nothing broken, no buffaloes are any buffaloes or anything not is there in the track, so that train is successfully reaching to the destination. So if it is successful, it will reach to the destination. If it is having any failure, we can able to tell that exception why train didn't reach to the destination, what is the exception of that thing. Now we don't have any error, system error is nothing, train we don't have anything, train is going smoothly. So we consider that one as a success transaction. What we can do, when our train is going, so it now destination one has been arrived. So what we will do, check stop signal. What, in which scenario we have to use the check stop signal? Suppose inside that orchestrator, when we open that orchestrator, we will be starting our job. Okay. So so this process has been started. Immediately I have been terminated my process. I started my process, immediately I started. But bot is keep on working, right? So if I started within 2 seconds, I terminated, but bot will be working, and it will check this check start signal, in the sense, from orchestrator, did anyone has been terminated the process or not. Now currently no one has been terminated the process. What happened? If anyone is terminated the process, we are trying to stop the process there itself from the orchestrator. We can able to doing the transaction item nothing, we can able to we can able to finish the process here itself. Suppose you, when I trigger the process in the orchestrator, I didn't click on I didn't terminate the process. What it will do here? It is using get transaction item. So what is having? It is having in underscore transaction item, in underscore config, out underscore transaction item. What is this in underscore transaction item? Suppose whenever I want to add a transaction number, so I want to add a particular data to the queue, right? So it should have the transaction number. So that is the reason by default they are declaring as 1. Okay. Now if I go inside that edit parameters, you know what is underscore config? It is having the config data. So now the data value is transaction number 1. That means first queue item, I'm going to take it. So I want to tell. So what is this transaction field one? This is based on your requirement. So what is this transaction ID? So when I'm working on when I want to get the transaction from the queue, right? I need a transaction ID. The transaction ID I declared, I'm passing to the AO underscore transaction out underscore transaction ID. Let's go and see what is happening here. Get transaction item. So here, so we if wait. Okay. Get transaction item. What is the thing here providing? So orchestrator, we are already having that orchestrator queue name. Am I correct? So if you go inside here, what is that orchestrator queue name inside the config? So ABC process ABC queue. Now previously we have three files. By using add queue item, I added all the files into this particular queue, a process ABC queue. Now what I'm saying here, boss, go into that config file. Where is your orchestrator queue name? It is having which three files? Try to bring that one particular item. So bring that file one and store that one inside a out underscore transaction item. If people will be asking what is the return type of out underscore transaction item, that is queue item. whatever the data we are getting from an orchestrator, that is coming nothing as a queue item. So if they were, if this is one of the interview question, if anyone asks you what is the queue item, you have to tell them whatever the data we are reading from that queue by using get transaction item, so that it will be a transaction queue item, it will be transaction item, it will be data type is a queue item. So now now we have one transaction item is there. So if it is not nothing, now we have one item. What we are doing here, along with that transaction item, well, we are just declaring our transaction ID. So now now dot push string is what is the current time. So I'm just I'm getting the transaction ID. So transaction field one, I'm just declaring string dot empty means nothing. Instead of null, you can able to keep this the string dot empty, nothing, anything is will work. So if you want to do the things, so now we got one item from the queue. So now if you go inside that, that queue item, one minute. So now whatever the transaction I'm item water, that is a queue item. That I'm come making this one, I'm just providing that one to output input to main here. So from get transaction item, I'm bringing the data and I'm providing input to main here, out underscore transaction item. So if you go here, now if anything exception is there here, we will be trying to catch that exception. So that is the reason their config message they are keeping here. Suppose what is exactly here. So if you want to write your own exception, you can able to write it. Suppose if it is having any transaction data error, it is the best way practice. You can display, you can keep your odd transaction data, you can able to keep it here. So they now they kept that if it is having any issue number, it has to display error getting transaction data number or not. So you can see here, a log message get transaction data error. What is the value of that one? So it will bring this one. So now now we'll be understanding we are really getting transaction data, we are not able to get the transaction data from the orchestrator queue, and we have to go into that up code and we have to check it why you are not able to get the data. This is the thing, best way you can able to keep your exception messages inside this config file. So where if you want to read the thing, so here you can see that I just kept one of the config message for my scenario. I want to keep that error message for this one. This is the error message. If I'm getting this like this, you can able to keep it inside your config file. So if you want to in future, if why you want to write, if you want to change in future, right, you don't need to change the code. You can able to change that config file and you can able to do that one. You can able to perform, you can able to change that error message here and you can able to work on it. Now we will not change any code, right? That is the best practice here. So reading keeping that all the error messages, any kind of thing inside it, your config file. That is done. Now I got the transaction item. Now what now I got you have been onboarded into train. What I have to do, I have to make the you to reach your destination. So so what happened, I'm just going to the transaction. So I'm just saying, I'm checking till now any business exception is there or not. So nothing is there. So what I'm doing here, I'm going inside the process.xaml file. So what I have to do, what are the first file I got it, that file I'm providing input to the transaction item, and whatever the config is there, I read from that config file, I'm passing to this in parameter here. So I'm just opening that particular workflow. Now process flow, where we can able to do your all the steps here. Now whatever the applications are login applications I open, so bot has to click on now bot has to, what it has to, it open the thing, it open google.com. So now what it has to perform, so now I want to reach to the my destination. So I want to just what is the thing, right? I want to know the distance between Hyderabad to Ongole. So like this bot has to do the steps, and once after coming this page, bot has to take this number 323.4 kilometers, and it has to store the data, and so that this particular process transition. Now we got the output. What is the distance between Hyderabad and Bangalore? 323.4 kilometer. This is the output I wanted. So I'll use that get test and I can able to get the test inside the process. And what I will do, take arguments. Now that queue item, whatever the things are there, right? I got that queue item. Now inside that, whatever the data is added, I can able to add the data inside my data table based on your require. All the process thing you can able to do it here. Okay, whatever the perform you want to do. Suppose next queue item is I want to know the distance between from Bangalore to Goa. So that is our next transaction item. So I use the get transaction item to get the queue. I'll use the process transaction item. What it has to do, I can use a navigate URL, go back URL. So it will click on here again. I can able to perform my distance between Goa and Bangalore. After that, it has to click on the search button and it has to take the data and it has to keep inside a inside a data table. I use the add row activity. Now I will get three data rows. To know I got it. Hyderabad to Bangalore, Bangalore to Goa. Those two distance are there. This one I have to show to the customer. So what I'll use the add row activity and I can able to add data row. What I'll use also, I got a data from particular data table. Just you can assume that any other data table. Here what I can do, I will open in a flower brackets. So what I can keep here, 324, 234, and I can able to provide that what is the column kind of thing, comma. So whatever the values, now what is the data we are getting? We have only, we have to know, we have to get only the distance, right? 234 kilo km. I have get test, I use it. That output we can keep it inside the flow bracket. Now this one it will add and it will keep it inside a data table. You can assume any other data table. Once that is done, process transaction whenever it is done. So here you can, what you can do, you can use a, okay. So okay, now I got the data. Process has been performed. So it now it is having two rows. Distance between Hyderabad to Bangalore, distance Hyderabad to Goa. It I added into an one particular data table. Now come here. Now everything is has been performed successfully. So go to into the successful stage. So what it is happening here? Now we don't have any system error, anything. So what we can do? Go for next transaction data. So what it will do? Again, it will go for the next transaction data. It will try to bring that name of the set, and we can able to perform the steps everything here. Now we don't. Now we have two items are there. We got the distance between Hyderabad to Bangalore, Hyderabad to the Bangalore to Goa. Those two, the only queue items we are having. So now we don't have any other queue item. No data. What it has to go? Go to the end process. And what it has to? Before going to the, I opened the Chrome browser and I just opened it, right? I didn't close it till now. What I have to do? I use that close all application. Go here. What exact it is having? Whatever the application you have been open, you can close that applications here. You can see here, close all application. I open the Chrome application, so I have to close the application here, so that again whenever the next time it trigger, so that it do from the starting, it will open that application and everything. This is what main about RE framework. There is nothing else is there. Now as per your requirement you can able to change everything, or as per your convenient needs. It is very simple process. Please let me know is you people are able to understand this. I just explain you in a real time scenario how we can able to use it by using that add queue items, where we'll be using the add queue item. I just explain you in real time scenario how they will be add the queue items, how we able to get the transaction item, if any new transaction is there, how everything. Mm. And one more thing, so for example if the particular process is transaction successful, so if it is having any system error anything, we can able to keep that business exception thing, and we can able to go to the next transaction data. Okay, inside the process the transaction only there is another thing is there. Let me show you the thing. Last time in interview they asked you some of the thing, how you let you know that business people, what kind of how, whether it is a business exception, how will you let you know. Suppose now I got a particular transaction item that it is successful inside the process of the transaction item. So what it will happen, go to the set transaction item. So what is the thing, do you have any business exception? No, right? So come here, what are the queue item we ran it, we ran first, we took it. So now in underscore transaction item, whatever the transaction item we took it from the queue, that it is checking, it is not nothing. Yes, if it is not nothing, so we have one transaction item, correct, right? It is not nothing. And the transaction item is queue type, correct, right? Whatever the transaction item we previously I showed you inside that edit documents, the type is queue type. Yes, both are correct. And what are the transaction item, you can able to you read it right, you make that one as successful, and you can able to provide that in underscore transaction item. I got file number one, that file number one I have to update the status, right? So I am updating the status to successful. So in this way now, the first file it ran it, it was become a success, and it is updating inside this orchestrator queue as a success, like this. So in this, how if you have any business exception, you can tell the business people, if there are any business exception scenario, there is a set transaction status is there. So based on that, can you based on that requirement, right? I can able to tell that if it is having business exception, come to there is a set transaction status is there, where we can able to check that, and we can able to make that business exception as a fail, and we can able to keep that exception type what exactly the business is. This is how we can able to tell that what kind of business exception will be handling inside that RE framework. So is it clear to everyone? You understood, right? What is the basic RE framework exactly is there? Please do let me know with your answers. This is how in real time scenario we'll be using RE framework. I have a client project is there, but I don't want to show it, so though I'm not going ahead, and don't want to show. I just show you that play, just sample RE framework how it will be there. So is it clear? Everyone understood, right? Hello, yeah. Please can anyone speak and let me know whether you are able to understand or not clearly. So actually, right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if possible, you can please have a real time experience with. No, I can't able to show any real time experience. Simple project, right? So okay, give me one some time. Let me think of a scenario, and we will do one thing. I'll just check with Vajrang. I want to take with one more training, and I want to show this one. Let him continue. Once end of this thing, any day, one day, I'll just take it, and I'll just show you one example. That I'll do. First, let me get one requirement. Based on the thing, I can able to do the things, because I have to connect my bot to orchestrator, and I have to show a lot of things are there. Now I can't. This is my company office laptop. I can't able to add queue items because it is always connected to uh, attended one. So it is not unattended one. Okay. Is it fine, right? I can able to show you one example. Give me some time to. Let me think of the scenario and give you small example kind of thing we can able to do it. But sorry, yes, I do have. What happened, right? So in Google RE framework, in YouTube you can follow. YouTube there is a thing Vajrang RE framework is there. So if you search it, right, if you go through it, whatever I explain, it is same thing as he will be explaining. So go through this one, you will be having better understanding tomorrow. So that tomorrow if Vajrang able to take any project, Now with my you people clearly understood, right, whatever I explained here with my with my explanation. And if you go through that video tomorrow, if we give you any scenario, if we explaining any scenario, it is easy to understand for you. And I'm going to take any one real-time project kind of thing, sample project, and I'll show you to the people, but I need some time. Done, right? You people are understood whatever I explained. You people are understood, right? You do, if you have any doubts, just first we'll go this with this one. Just tell me in this RE framework explanation, do you have any doubts or not? Hello? Hello? Yeah, yeah, tell me. Yeah, if someone speak, right, I'll get to know whether I can able to get it. If yeah, tell me. You are able to, you people understand, right? You have no doubts. So I'm just checking in the chat as well. So if any doubts is there, please let me know if you don't want to speak. So we can able, I will explain you that particular scenario and I will be able to understand. So I took the real time example also, like how we can able to go to the train, how we can able to departure at your destination by using this one. Performer a dispatcher is a very good example which I given. You can able to consider this one, you can able to do the things. The lot of interview questions they are asking you. Yeah, yes, Reshmi. Yeah, yes. Mm. Uh, yeah, what is you have to do, right? Whenever you have to change, you have to customize in everything here inside this set transaction item. What you have to do, you have to config, same config file is there, right? You can create one example here, so you can able to, so if it is success, you can able to keep it like this. If exception, you can have to keep it like this. So if this was successful, make this exception as success kind of thing. So if any exception is you're having, you are not able to read the data from the excel, any kind of exception, you can able to keep your exception details here. So that now if you are not able to check from the queue, so that you can able to get you can able to get that what kind of exception, and this report you can able to send to the business kind of thing, so that they will get to know. So what is the status of this workflow, it ran it, what is the output data it is having, what are the exception it is having. So that is what you understood. You have to create your own Excel file, and whatever the transaction item you got it, right? You're taking the file number one. That file number it is having any exception. What you have to do, you have to bring that file name, and you have to tell, you have to use that instead of set transaction, right? You have to make this transaction in a customizable way. Here, what you have to do, right? You have to use that add row activity, add data row activity, and you can able to make this one as what I showed you, right? We have to open that flower bracket, sorry, not this one, and you have to provide that Excel not able to open business, sorry, business exception. You have to write your own way. I said, right, you have to customize your RE framework. So then only you can able to, if even though if you are not using the queue, you can able to show your data what are the transaction you are reading, the transaction item status you can able to keep it here. If it is everything is successful, go to RE framework. If it everything is successful, so you can able to perform your operations here. What if there is no system error is nothing, if your business exception is nothing, we can, what are the transaction item we got it, right? The transaction item we can able to write to the Excel sheet, and this test.xlss you can able to keep that exception whatever it is there. File number one, so what it is having, it is successful or not, failed, what is the exception, I already kept it, it is a business exception. So what is the comment, you can keep it as a comment, what exactly is kind of thing, Like this you can able to make others know what is happening here if you are not using from the. No, business people they don't want anything. They want only I'm giving you input boss, what show me the output. But this is the reporting for only your purpose. Normally you have opened your orchestrator. If queues some of the queues which will get failed, business people will ask, tell me what are the queues it got, why it got failed, everything. They will ask you where is my output. These all the things you have to check where it got failed. Whether what is the exception kind of thing you have to check in the logs. This is only for our reporting for our purpose. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So if you don't want, yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, in Q means here only you are having retry number. You can provide that retry number as two, so that if you are coming from each three, if you provide right, three files are there. Each file it will try to retry for three times. No need to go for inside that queue. Here only we are having retry number. Mm. Mm. Yeah, and you have to design. Ah, well, what you can do, right? So what are the files you are doing, right? You can add another column, and inside the comments you can able to keep bot remarks column, or the particular column you can keep it. Uh, and you can able to perform that success. So success, three are success, as two are success, third one it got failed. What are the two it has been success, you try to update that inside that excel sheet. Whatever you have been performed till now, try to update inside excel. So whenever you are performing on the net transaction, you try to go for this remarks column. This is already having data, it is already having data. Oh, third one is not having data. Let bot make to perform from here. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, you can share it with the team so that it will be. Yeah, sure. So now, is it fine to everyone? Is that you people understand, right? If you people have any questions, right? If you don't have any question, I can stop the recording so that I'll share it. Can I stop the recording? Yeah, tell me yes or no. Yes, right? Can anyone speak, right? Yes. No, can I stop the recording, right? If you people don't have any doubts, I can stop the recording, right? So that I'll share it with you. Mm. Yes, yeah, we can have to use that kill process is there. What we have to do, right? 1 minute. Kill process is thing is there. So normally inside your task manager, if any Excel is open kind of thing, you'll get to know whether it is open or not. So like this, what way how we can do, right? If you use the kill process kind of thing, and if you perform, where is it? Ah, yeah, it is here. Mm, mm, mm. Mm. Why? Because when you want to, if both are opening in the, for example, it can, if both are working right, it will throw the definitely exception. It will be throwing. What you have to do, right? Suppose if you want to, this file is there, so you have to take that copy of the file and you have to keep it in any other place where you can able to do it. Yes, like this. Now I understood. Suppose if there is one particular file, three people want to work on that particular file. So now, uh, yes, okay, no, I'm okay. Who? Yes, because if how means yes, if no one is open, no, if no one is open, right, you never get that exception. If someone is open, right, then only you'll be having the thing. Whenever you're working on the shade, right? Okay, okay, you do one thing. You just share me that. Guys, done right. So I have to go. That is the reason I just asked you to join early. So is it fine, right? Can we